Day 135 of 365 days of meditation. Um, Today's practice, I slept in a bit. It's Saturday. I think I was up, I don't know, just what time was it? About 7:30, I think. And yeah, so I ended up meditating for about 45 minutes, about 45 minutes. Was going pretty good, just sort of really noticing where my mind was wandering off to. And then I was coming out of the meditation the way I normally do. And right as I was about to come out, I got a text message and it interrupted it was like 5 seconds from coming out of the meditation. And I kind of just laughed because I got the Siri, Siri announced the new text message and what it said, and I sort of chuckled to myself and thought, oh, that's ironic. I'm like 2 seconds from coming out of meditation and got interrupted, and I was okay with it. And then it was actually my wife waiting for me downstairs, ready to go. We were going to go work out, and I ended up, it's funny, by the time I walked downstairs and hopped in the car, and I don't know, I noticed that I sort of I became a little bit irritated by the fact that I got interrupted, because that wasn't my initial response. And, that set her off a little bit, and I think, within a few minutes of, actually, on the drive, I kind of went back into the meditation, just sat there because she was driving and sort of meditated while we were driving, and that was interesting. Never done that before, but totally doable, apparently. Was pretty much over it by the time we got there, and had sort of wrapped up my meditation the way I normally would have in the car while driving or sitting there as a passenger. But it was interesting how we kind of fed off each other. My sort of negative vibe led to her being a little bit miffed, and then I noticed it after a workout, and I guess, I felt a little bit sort of guilty, but also disappointed that was my reaction. Because, part of meditation, trying to be less reactive, more sort of conscious of my actions. And on the plus side, the refractory period for me was very short. I was annoyed for a very short period of time, and then I was back on track. But still a little bit of disappointment in the fact that I reacted in the first place. And I know that she's going through some stuff right now, so it wasn't ideal timing. As she mentioned, she's a little more sensitive than usual, so I kind of felt bad about that. But at the same time, realizing, if I'm going to take some responsibility for, the way I respond to things consciously, then I can't really necessarily take too much responsibility for the way that other people respond to me or our interactions, because I think the world is a better place if we're all sort of consciously responding in our interactions rather than reacting sort of habitually or unconsciously. But it's just sort of an interesting interaction this morning after the meditation, an interesting way to end meditation. But like I said, the nice thing was total progress, was out of it in no time at all, just back to normal life. And she's always been pretty good at that. I admittedly, prior to meditating, especially when I was younger, even long before her and I met, I would get in a mood over something and it would last for, hours, if not days, if not weeks. I could hold a grudge like nobody, even for stupid, trivial things. So it's nice to see that has changed, and I definitely owe a lot of that to the daily meditative practice. It allows me to self-regulate at a level that I've never experienced before. So I'm pretty grateful for that. That's it for today. Nothing really else to talk about. In closing, if you're struggling at all with your mental health, don't suffer in silence. talk to somebody, talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Whether you're just unable to cope with your mental emotional state, if you're ruminating excessively or worrying excessively, or feeling anxious or depressed, or just struggling to cope with your day-to-day life, again, don't suffer in silence. You know, if you continue to not talk about it and just try to grit your teeth and bear it, or just kind of drag yourself through it, it's not going to get better. But by talking to somebody about what's going on, it could lead you in a direction that you never thought or you even thought of prior to talking to somebody. And the act of talking to somebody is changing your sort of normal behavior, especially if you are not one that would normally talk about the way you're thinking or feeling. And I can definitely relate to that, because I was not for years and years and years of my life. And, you know, honestly, it didn't really get me anywhere good. So, yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful or useful or interesting, and have yourself a great day.